welcome to the season opener of season 2 of the Shooting Range of Photography Challenge. We are excited to bring this challenge back for its second round, this time expanding across Canada. We have an exciting lineup of panel and guest judges this season and are excited to get this show on the road. Before we get to introductions though, we want to do a brief history of how the Shooting Range, or TSR as we like to call it, came to be. With COVID-19 lockdown still in the horizon, in early of 2021, TSR was conceptualized as a fun, quirky way to entertain and keep Edmonton and Alberta photographers' skills sharp while supporting local businesses impacted by the pandemic. We knew we didn't want a cutthroat competition, and we knew we wanted more than a make a pretty picture. But as we began developing the match briefs and dove deeper into the details and structure of the competition, we realized that we had a unique and engaging and meaningful idea, but no idea on how to pull it off. While we had the competition format laid out, we fumbled our way through season 1. We were literally figuring out how to handle the unexpected as the competition unfolded. So it was more like a steep incline than a learning curve. For season 2, I'm happy to say that months and months of hard work has led to some pretty amazing strides. Countering the unexpected, the only thing that plagued us going into season 2 was how the competition would be received by the rest of Canada. Hope and I struggled with whether or not introducing it to the rest of Canada was the right idea. Would Canadians accept this challenge and embrace what it stands for? Would they be interested in competing or being a judge in this new unknown competition? And was season 1 meant to be a one-time thing? We decided to take a leap of faith, and obviously it worked out, since here we all are to kick off season 2. Excuse me. We hoped to be able to bring the Shooting Range Challenge back to you in future years. So as we open season 2, we want to say thank you to season 1 challengers and judges for building a foundation for season 2. Thank you to our past and current challengers and fans for believing in this event. Thank you to our season 2 panel and guest judges for giving their time and talents to mentor these challengers. And thank you to everyone involved in giving us the opportunity to add deeper sense of community to Canadian photography. We can also not forget the Canadian businesses, organizations, and private citizens who continue supporting this competition by providing prizes, cash, and swag. This truly couldn't happen without all of you, so we humbly say thank you. It would be remiss if the Shooting Range did not take a moment to address the sudden disappearance of one of our panel judges. Respected photographer and Sprout Studio creator Brian Caprici was on board from the moment he learned of the Shooting Range. Despite months of collaboration as both the start of TSR and the release of the V3 upgrade drew near, Brian realized that this was going to be a direct life-work conflict between the competition and this major software update. Brian was sad to have to choose, but wanted to continue supporting TSR, and as such has contributed a gift from Sprout Studio to the winner of season 2. TSR wishes to thank Brian for his commitment and generosity, and extends an extra special thank you to his amazing team members, Emily and Jules, for the continued communication, understanding, and support.
Welcome to Sprout Studio, your new studio management suite built for photographers by photographers. Getting organized starts with your contact form. You can build it exactly how you'd like and then easily put it on your website. When your client fills it out, they automatically become a lead in Sprout, and then you can quickly reply using an email template. When your client is ready to book, you send them a booking proposal. This is a private web page and digital experience that you can easily customize for them. They can choose their package, add on extras, fill out personal details, answer a questionnaire, review and sign your contract, and then pay a deposit. Once you countersign as their photographer, they're booked. Now you can send them a questionnaire, add notes, create to-dos, send emails, log mileage, track expenses, and more. You can even send them an invitation to schedule a date with you. Sprout will automatically check your calendar and only display the dates and times you're available. Along the way, Sprout Assistant can help you send reminders and follow-ups so nothing slips through the cracks. Once you photograph your clients, you can send them a gallery to enjoy. They can share your photos with friends and family, watch a slideshow, send you their favorites, and download their images. They can even order prints and products right from their gallery. You can send your client their album design to review and give you feedback on, so you can be sure you're on the same page all along. Your clients each get their own client portal. This is their home base with you, a private webpage that's automatically built for them and branded for you. You can always stay top of mind and nurture relationships with email marketing campaigns, sales funnels, drip sequences, and email newsletters in Sprout. You can even build the most beautiful emails on the market that are fully compatible with zero technical knowledge with Sprout's flexible and simple drag and drop email designer. With over 100 insightful components, you can dig into every corner of your business to see what's driving growth. You can also track your business's health and look at things from a 5-mile-high perspective to guide your success. That's Sprout Studio, your new studio management suite built for photographers by photographers, helping you make a living doing what you love.
We are very excited to introduce Season 2's Resident Range Masters. Each of these individuals was nominated by members of the Canadian photography community at large and chosen for the broad range of expertise they could provide. Let's get to know them a little better. So in alphabetical order, we have Beth Vanderbeesh, and she is representing TSR's hometown of Edmonton, Alberta. In addition to being part mountain goat, as she uses nature and the Canadian Rockies as her backdrop for producing stunning intimate images for her clients. Beth is a valued resource in the photography community. Oh my God, I suck today. Providing feedback, guidance, and expertise on everything from location and lens calibration to SEO and blogging for novice and experienced photographers alike. Beth's openness and willingness to help and support other photographers in building their own businesses is a passion, and she has been focusing on since the pandemic took destination photographers out at the knees. Thank you for joining.
If you want on that.
I'm getting tongue-tied, like totally. Thank you for joining the crew, Beth. Next up, we have Maggie Hood, representing the East Coast from Fredericton, New Brunswick. Maggie is a multidisciplined photographer. Her love of multiple genres, including everything from portraits and wedding to fine art and landscapes, which has seen her working as a creative professional for nearly a decade. Apart from being a photographer in demand, Maggie teaches workshops, is a curator for Canadian creatives, and a regular contributor to Canada's own Offbeat Photo. Thank you so much for being here, Maggie. Most photographers seem to have a genre that they are drawn to. What advice can you give this year's challengers on how to decide when and why to either refine or diversify their portfolio?
Ooh, big questions.
We do that.
I mean, I think there's something to be said for having a wide, like a big, wide variety of things in your portfolio. And there's also something to be said for specializing and really fine tuning what you're doing. I think for me, I heard my entire career is you need to specialize, you need to specialize, you need to specialize. And that never really resonated with me because I just loved so many genres. And I'm lucky because I feel like in the kind of area where I work, it supports me being a multidisciplinary photographer. You know, you can shoot pretty much everything. So in terms of, you know, advice for the challengers, I mean, I all I can basically say is, you know, shoot what you love and what moves you. And if that's one particular thing, roll with it. And if it's a wide variety of things, roll with that. Did that answer the question at all?
Totally did.
Okay, perfect.
Thank you. Next, we have Ronald Lee coming to us from the West Coast in Vancouver, British Columbia. Ronald has exceptional skills that span across many areas. Being able to incorporate knowledge from the interesting careers he has held as a filmmaker, lifestyle coach, and a marketer have helped him excel in his photography career. Ronald encapsulates a whole lot of skill that has helped him stand out in the Vancouver market, leading to a devout regular following looking to improve his skills, connect with community, and meet like-minded photographers. Fun fact, Ronald is also one of the handful of certified Google trusted independent photographers in Canada. Welcome, Ronald. Looking at your body of work, you have built a solid commercial clientele, but seem to have a particular passion for shooting dance. How and where did that begin?
So I shoot a number of different subject matter, and dance came about mostly because one, a long time ago, I used to be an athlete. So dance was part of what I was doing. And now I'm doing dance because of the artistic value, along with the creative, technical value of it. So I just really enjoy it. So where I am, there are a lot of good dancers, but my goal is to shoot dancers in Russia and China.
I would love to see that. I also enjoy shooting dance. It's one of my favorite genres to shoot.
Mm-hmm.
And last but certainly not least, we have Spencer Wynn from Toronto, Ontario. Spencer is a visual storyteller, designer, photographer, and college educator who is always looking to push himself and his skills to learn more about culture, social issues, community, and the diversity he surrounds himself with. Spencer has an upcoming workshop in Istanbul, Turkey this summer. If you like to travel and photography, if you like travel and photography, perhaps this workshop is for you. We appreciate you being here, Spencer. As a professional educator, you've stated that you find your students to be an inspiration. Can you tell us a bit about when you first picked up a camera and what or who inspired you to become a photographer and a teacher?
Well, when I think I was 6 or 7, my mother had a dark room in the bathroom and a brownie, and it was magic to see prints come out. Then when I fast forward, when I went to the Ontario College of Art, the person that I really think really set me on the track to looking at stories everywhere was my photography teacher, Ken Bell, who landed at Normandy and was a documentary photographer for the Canadian Armed Forces. And that sort of love of storytelling took me into Toronto Life magazine, the Toronto Star, and extensive travels to really not go to the cities, but go to where things were really interesting. And that's where people never looked. And that was rural places and living with families in China or in the Arctic, and really sort of peeling back the layers and seeing that there are these beautiful stories everywhere you look.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. We have a few guest judges with us this evening. We will introduce them in a few minutes. But first, let's meet this year's shooters. TSR couldn't happen without the brave souls who submitted portfolios in the hopes of making it through to Season 2's Range Master. We will have time to get to know the challengers more in depth as the competition proceeds. So for today, we'd like each of our shooters to briefly let the judges know their name, where they're joining us from, and what inspired them to enter. So in alphabetical order, Bonnie, you get to go first.
This is hard. I did my video today, by the way, and that was excruciating. So my name is Bonnie. I live in central Alberta, actually, Bentley area. If anybody knows Gull Lake, Sylvan Lake, that's where I live, right in the middle. What else did you want me to tell you?
What inspired you to join the competition this year?
Well, I watched the challenges from last year on YouTube, and I really enjoyed the camaraderie, the banter, the learning, the teaching. I have mostly done portraits, and I'm now trying to get into more macro landscape and fine art. And I don't know how to make stories. I want to learn how to make stories, and I want to learn how to make an image that says and feels things. And I'm hoping that this will help me get that.
We hope so too.
I know.
I think Spencer, you have your first fan.
Yeah.
Dennis, tell us where you're from. What's your name? Well, we know your name is Dennis, but what inspired you to enter? Oh, you got to unmute yourself, sir.
Hi, my name's Dennis Campbell. I'm from Creemore, Ontario. It's about an hour and a half north of Toronto, I guess, from the airport. Anyways, I found out about the competition because I followed Darlene Hildebrand, I think her name is, and she was a judge last year.
Yeah, she was one of our panel judges in season 1.
She'd sent out a shout out, and I kind of saw it right at the end. Some of the things that she talks about, I quite like. So I follow her, and I normally shoot birds mostly now, or landscapes, although I've kind of dabbled in a little bit of everything, I guess. But so I thought, well, you know what, this might be fun. It's COVID time. Let's get out there and, you know, see what happens. So that's what I'm doing.
Welcome, Dennis.
Thank you.
Jean-Francois, can you please tell us what you're about?
Yeah, I'm from Montreal, well, Lachine, which is in the Greater Montreal, in Quebec. And my name is Jean-Francois, of course. And then what inspired me to be a part of those challenges is I really have no idea why I'm doing this, because usually I'm a shy person, and it really pushes my limits to speak in front of groups, to be out there, to show my work. So it's really, really just that part, a big challenge for me. And so far I enjoy it a lot. So hope
Wonderful.
It goes, yeah.
It's okay, Jean-Francois, last year I was so nervous that in episode 3 I almost vomited on camera. So you're amongst the
Go watch it.
Hope still thinks it's the funniest thing from season 1.
Best thing ever.
Thank you. Johanna, tell us, or Joey, which would you like to go by?
Whichever. I go by anything that starts with a J-O was fine. Joey,
Okay.
Johanna,
Jill
Jojo.
Bait?
Sure. What's that? That's not J-O. J-O.
I said jailbait. Joel bait.
Joel Bait? Yeah, that'll work.
Oh.
So I'm out in Morinville, Alberta, and last year I watched as Corey Lynn posted lots of her really cool projects, and so that was one of the things that kind of got my attention. And yeah, I just want to see how far I can take this, and push myself to try new things and think outside the box, because I tend to overthink things, but my thoughts stay in that box. So yeah, just need to open it up and let it all fly out.
You're totally in the right spot for this.
Hopefully.
Kayla, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hi, so my name is Kayla and I'm from Edmonton. It's actually kind of funny because Billy, it was you who invited me very last minute into the TSR group where I first learned about it and then decided why not enter and put my knowledge to use since I've just been focusing on portraiture. So yeah, that's why I entered, just to do something a little more than portraits for once.
It was quite quickly. I remember you had seen it and then we saw your entry like almost like that.
Yeah, I think it was like I think 3 days before your close too. Like it was like all right away. So I was like, if I'm gonna do it, I just gotta do it now.
Yeah,
I think
there
that's
was
the
no thinking
ADHD
about
is like, yeah, let's do it.
Awesome. Thank you so much for being here.
Thanks.
Martha, your turn.
Hey, so I'm Martha Brown. I'm from central Nova Scotia. And if you literally dropped a pin in the center of the province, you'd likely land on my house. I live in a place called Upper Musquodoboit. We're very rural, about an hour and a half to almost 2 hours away from Halifax or any other city or town, really. What inspired me? A lot of the judges here I've followed for a number of years. Very, captivating images, and their ability to tell story is amazing. And I think what really inspired me is to help my storytelling evolve from multiple frames, where I would typically I do kind of a day in the life project, which is almost like shooting a wedding every single day that you do this because it's over, 12, 14 hours. And telling a story that way to telling a story perhaps just with one frame. And I think that I can learn a lot from the other participants and whatever mentoring I'm able to receive from judges. Really excited about that, just to have a more concise approach to my photography.
We hope that you get what you are looking for this year.
I'm gonna vote that Renee and Curtis are probably at the top of the list of people that you were fangirling over when it came to the minimalist storytelling sort of thing. Hey?
Maybe a little.
Maybe a little.
Matt, you're up next. First, I just want to say or ask if your wife is doing all right.
Yeah, she's okay. She's a little shaken up, but yeah, she'll be fine. She's downed a bottle of Tylenol and some rum, hopefully. So
okay.
Yeah, she's good. Thanks for asking. My name is Matt. I live in Kelowna. We had a bunch of snow today and black ice, which my wife hit on the way home. So she ran into a meridian, for anyone that doesn't know. I joined this group because I actually saw it on Meghead's Instagram account and thought that looked kind of like something I would absolutely never consider doing. But I want to challenge myself to do things I would never consider doing in the past and try new things, push myself. And I like the idea of knowing there are group challenges, because I think a lot of artists stick to themselves and we don't like to share our knowledge and we don't like to share our thoughts a lot of times, and we look at it through our own lens, and I'd like to look at it through other people's lenses and work together as a team.
Awesome. Thank you. The shooting range is very much, even though this is a competition, we strive for community over competition, because everybody deserves to know what we all know, right? Nikki Lynn, you're next.
Hi, my name is Nikki Lynn or Nicole Richards. Most people just call me Nikki, but the Nikki Lynn thing kind of stuck with just my pictures, because anytime I went to make passwords or use names or whatever, Nikki just wasn't working, but there wasn't a lot of Nikki Lynn. So Nikki Lynn just kind of stuck that way. But yeah, I'm Nikki. And I live in Norman Wells, Northwest Territories, which is north of Yellowknife, but south of Inuvik. So we're quite far up here, and it is freezing. Oh, it's just been so cold, like minus 50s the last week.
Oh, so my bitching and complaining is nothing compared to your experience.
Yeah, it's just been really, but you know, that's the life of living in the North, I guess. And I take advantage of it because there's not really a lot of photographers. Well, in my town, there's only, you know, 750 people in this town, and we're very isolated. There's no road in or out unless it's winter time and the ice roads are built. And so the road is actually open right now, but so there's not a lot of competition really. There's nobody else in my town that takes pictures and does that kind of stuff. But the guy that actually got me like out of using my camera automatic was Dave Broshaw. I got him to come up to Norman Wells and teach us all how to, you know, use our cameras and stuff. And I've been going ever since then. So my inspiration actually to do this was a friend of mine had put something on my Facebook, like sent me a messenger about the shooting range. And I didn't know what it was. And I didn't really pay attention to it because I don't do this stuff. I'm like Matt, I don't do competitions. I don't challenge myself at all, really. So I just kind of ignored it for a bit, but then I looked at it and I thought, hey, this might be something that I'd like to do. And once I seen, I think Renee was involved in this, and I think Mag too, because I've seen Mag, you know, through the Dave Broshaw. I know that they've been working together on some things. So I just thought, wow, I feel like this was my opportunity and I was going to lose it if I didn't just jump in and do it. I don't specialize in anything like Mag was saying. So I felt like this would be something that'd be fun because there's going to be so many different things, and I can, you know, use the equipment that I have and have an excuse to do these pictures that I want to do. And I really love the composite. I want to get more into that kind of stuff as well. So yeah, nice to meet you all.
Thank you, Nikki Lynn.
It's going to come at you from all directions, Nikki. Just
Everywhere.
letting you know, it's coming from all directions.
It's going to be fun.
We hope so. Shauna, you're up next.
You hear me?
Is Shauna not here?
I'm here.
Oh, there you are.
So my name is Shauna. I live in Knowlton, Quebec, which is in the Eastern Townships, kind of near Sutton, Mount Sutton. I kind of have the same story as Matt and Nikki. I guess I saw the shooting range on the Hobbs Instagram and thought I couldn't possibly enter that, and sat on it for a bit, and then just kind of threw my portfolio in. And I think when it comes to photography, I'm my own worst enemy in a way. I let my lack of confidence, I guess, hold me back quite a bit. So I'm hoping that through this, it really pushes me to break through those barriers and to get the visions that I have in my head out and to meet people and yeah, just try something different. Yeah.
You're in the right place. Sky.
Hello.
Hi.
Obviously my name is Sky, but I did notice that it has my maiden name. I really need to update my Zoom to Baylor. I knew about, I'm located in northern Alberta in a very small town. I didn't really know about the shooting range. I've seen Hope share a few things on Facebook. And it looked really interesting, so I just liked it, followed it for a little bit, and then I seen that they were like this season 2 was up, and I was inspired to join. I thought it would be a great opportunity to step outside of my box and expand my skills in other things instead of always doing portraiture.
Awesome. Thanks, Sky. Stacy, you're up next.
Hey, I'm Stacy. I'm from Niagara Falls, Ontario. I actually joined because Terry Hofford shared it in her Bourgeois group, I want to say. But I don't see her here. Is she not here?
She might not be here tonight. It wasn't a prerequisite for our guest judges to come. We invited them, but she will be here in the competition.
Okay.
Don't worry.
And COVID as well. And sure enough, we're in lockdown. So it was good timing.
Yeah. We knew it was going to come. Virginia, you've disappeared. Oh, there you are. She's like, oh no.
My daughter was in here asking for flippers that I'd put up very high, so she couldn't get them.
Oh.
She wants to go in the hot tub right now. I was like, it's a little cold for that right now.
Just a little bit.
Just a little. So I'm Virginia and I am in Edmonton. I actually met Billy. It would have been right before the pandemic hit. We did a ballerina shoot together that she kind of pulled together, which was so much fun. And I'd never done anything like that before. So you definitely got me hooked on dancers too.
Yeah.
When the pandemic first hit, I like did not touch my camera for about 9 months because it's just one of those things, right? And then last year, I think spring hit and I just started getting inspired and I joined an education group and started learning a lot, and it was super stressful and amazing. And I feel like over the last year, my photography has gotten a lot better, but I still struggle with the storytelling a bit, and I'm learning editing, and I just got a new camera. So like new color profiles and all the fun stuff. But I really want to work on my storytelling and just try different things. I've always loved doing all kinds of photography. Like I love doing products and people and kids, and I did weddings for a while, but yeah, so I just want to have some fun and challenge myself, and it's super stressful and but it's fun.
Wonderful. Not wonderful that we're stressing you out, but
we don't want to stress people. It's not stressful. It's like good stress. So it's like, I know that I'm going to grow from it stress, right?
That's the right kind of stress.
Right. So it's like, it's that like energetic, like you're like buzzing with stress, right?
Yeah. So awesome. Thank you so much, Virginia. Some of the guest judges have come to say hello. Thank you so much for being here tonight. We are going to leave Two Mann Studios to the end. So guest judges, in honor of Weird and Random Wednesday, which it is today, I'm going to ask you, you're all going to get the same question, but still. I'm only going to start with Curtis, because you're right next to me in the Zoom. Curtis, tell me, what song are you currently playing on repeat?
Whatever Renee asks me to play.
That's not true.
No.
That's the right answer, but it's not true.
Yeah, no, that's a good question. I actually don't listen to a lot of songs on repeat. I spend a lot of time trying to find new music every day. It's weird.
That's not true. He listens to CBC constantly.
That's not music. CBC. Okay, we're getting off track here. I feel like I should just pick the first song that pops into my head so we can move on.
I'm okay going off track. I'm enjoying this.
Oh, the Elton John like three-way Dua Lipa.
Oh, I'm gonna have to get you to put that into the comments so I can.
Yeah, what is that? You should drop a link in the chat because I have no idea what this is.
So there's 3 Elton John songs that he's remixed with Dua Lipa.
That sounds like a different language.
Cold Heart is what Joey's saying that it's called. Write that down for me.
I went with whatever you want, and then when I actually gave my answer, you judged me.
I mean,
well, it's because she's in that mood.
And now I feel small.
That's a you problem.
All right, Renee, you're up. What's your currently your favorite song on repeat?
Listen. I'm listening to a lot of Battle Beast, and I understand if no one else in this group really is into that, so it's fine.
What genre of music is that?
It's really, really
angry.
Like extra cheese power metal. It's like cheese with a side of cheese power metal. It's like, you know, the cheesy shit from the 80s, like big hair, massive fake boobs riding a fucking like Tyrannosaurus Rex kind of metal. That's what it is. It's the stuff I listen to when I need life to not be so serious because the lyrics are dumb as hell. So
gotta keep laughing.
Yeah, it makes me feel good.
Thanks, Renee. You know, we're gonna ask you your own questions, Lanny and Erica, but I want to know what songs you got on repeat there.
Hey.
Hey.
Right now, what's on repeat is Encanto soundtrack, just because the kids are obsessed with it.
And you got to do what the kids want to do.
Yeah. And they play We Don't Talk About Bruno about 20 times a day. So that one's like stuck on repeat in my head, even though I don't really want it stuck on repeat. But to answer your question truthfully, that is what's on repeat in my head constantly.
Lanny, do you have a different answer?
Well, I've been on, apart from that, I'm like a 90s alt rock guy. And lately I've been on a Pearl Jam kick. I'm on a Pearl Jam kick these days. And I'm really digging Present Tense. I've been listening to that one a lot.
Takes me back to high school.
Yeah.
Shows our age, doesn't it?
It does. We're in the perfect spot for this then right now. What else do we have for guest
Jessica? Jessica, what do you put on repeat on your playlist right now?
On my playlist right now, I'm listening to Ed Sheeran. I don't know. I find his story pretty interesting, and he has a song called Lego House, and we've been building a lot of Lego, so it's on my mind because of the name of the song.
Lovely. I like him. He's pleasant. I like his
He's
music.
pleasant. I think so too. He seems authentic. I don't know.
And we like authentic people, right? I think that's all we have for guest judges today, hey? Does any of our panel judges want to tell us what your favorite song is right now? No, nobody wants to
Right
share.
now, I listen a lot to Sunflower. Now, this song is from the Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse soundtrack. It's so awesome. It's short, but it's so cool.
My kids have been harassing me for weeks to go see the new Spider-Man. Is it really all it's hyped up to be? Really, really?
It's really good.
Okay, you can't talk about it because Curtis has the theaters are shut down here in Newfoundland.
No
and
spoilers. No spoilers.
He's been like Matrix dodging spoilers, like just like slow motion and spoilers like fly past his face. And I'm worse because I share memes and I'm like, oh, he likes Spider-Man, not because I don't care as much. We're not realizing this is a spoiler for Spider-Man anyway. So
Noted. No
Noted.
spoilers. No Spider-Man spoilers.
Anybody else want to share their favorite song? No? We're going to move on.
Spencer's unmuted. What are you playing on repeat right now, Spencer?
Well, I'm out here in a blizzard by Lake Huron, and I had I remembered this great scene towards the end of Sum of All Fears. So I've got to say it's Nessun Dorma, and the visual is the actor doing this and then just getting knifed from behind. A little dark, but beautiful music.
Cool. In case you're wondering, mine is Morning Sun. Okay, there you go. Next, we're gonna move on. So the challengers have already been working on their first challenge. They got it on Sunday. And we are sure the panel judges are curious to know what the match brief is for week 1. The shooting range is pleased to announce that the guest judge for week 1 is none other than Two Mann Studios, whose teamwork and dedication to education have launched not only award-winning Two Mann Studios, but Two Mann U, whose sold-out workshops often require joining a waiting list. Inspired by both their strong partnership and incredible color stories, week 1's challenge is a team challenge. The 12 qualifying challengers have been divided into 2 teams and have been asked to create a literal or figurative spectrum using color to evoke emotion. Erica, Lanny, welcome, and thank you so much for being here. Excuse me.
Thank you for having us. I was so excited when I first got the email about this.
Awesome. We love hearing that.
Yeah.
You got nominated by a lot. I mean, we're Alberta based, so
Yeah.
we knew we were going to get like a disproportionate number of Alberta people, but you were disproportionate within Alberta. Everybody was like, Erica and Lanny, woo, let's do this.
Well, I hope next year we can be panel judges, honestly. It just didn't work out with timing this year, but.
Well, we can give you the dates after this, and so that you know what to block off for us.
Awesome.
Wonderful. Sweet. Panel judge number 1 is locked down.
Yes.
So setting priorities is important. Can you two take a minute to explain who your home team is and how supporting your home team allows you to stay focused on what's important?
Okay. Yeah. So basically you're asking about our team working skills, right?
Yeah, we're just wondering who's your home team, right? Your home team is?
Well, basically I would say we are each other's home team, but I would also say that we're as dysfunctional as fuck. Like we are the most dysfunctional team behind the scenes that you will ever see, ever, especially if you were to watch behind the scenes at an actual wedding. But somehow it works, right? Somehow.
And we've survived.
Somehow it works and we have survived, but
stronger for it.
Yes and
In some
no.
ways.
I would say in some ways for sure. But you know, it's rare that we get through a wedding and not at some point during the day tell each other to fuck themselves or fuck off or whatever. Like there's some emotions are running high and the stress and the fatigue, right? After working an 18 to 20 hour day. And it's impossible really to be nice to anybody, especially someone you love and are super comfortable with at that point in the day. So I would say our teamwork, you know, when I read the match brief, I was like, they don't quite, you know, it's very easy to see from the outside and judge someone's teamwork. But I would say there's
based only off of the results.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
But
you
I
don't
would
see the process and the journey to get there.
Yeah.
So,
but I would say there's no right or wrong way, right? There's no sort of textbook on how to be married together. There's no textbook on how to work together. And there's no textbook on how to work as a team together. And so I would encourage people to sort of go with that uncertainty that's there, as opposed to, and this sort of spans throughout the entire spectrum of our work. When we talk about storytelling, when we talk about teamwork, when we talk about our portraits or whatever photos we're taking, we're trying to embrace the uncertainty of it all in order to make the most of what actually is, if that makes any sense whatsoever. So I'm not sure if that helps or confuses people more. But
I think it does help because as photographers, we tend to work solo a lot, if not all the time. And so bringing us together into team building challenges can sometimes be a challenge in itself.
Yeah. Absolutely. And I would also say that as photographers, we tend to work very formulaic, right? We look for formulas, we look for the right way to do things. And in doing so, what's that one thing you always say? In doing so, we focus on doing things
right instead of just doing the right things.
Yes.
We get hung up on and fixated on the result, right?
Yeah, like doing things right, properly, technical, the right lights at the right angle. We've got perfect catch lights in the eyes. Whereas doing things right, the way that sort of contrast, no, am I saying that
doing
right?
the right things, focusing on the process.
Yeah, focusing on the
versus
process,
results.
focusing on the uncertainty, focusing on the questions that are coming up, not the answers to the questions, but the actual questions, is going to take your work in directions that are much more unpredictable and probably much more authentic to you as well.
I think that Hope and I might.
I have
to about that.
I have.
Oh yeah, Hope's been trying to talk.
I've been trying to talk.
Sorry.
My husband, I've been training him as my second shooter for like the last 20 years, pretty much. And as many times as I tell him to make sure his horizons are straight, I never get straight horizons, but he always gets the best first kiss shot. He like we work off each other, even without thinking about it. We have different perspectives, different things that we're prioritizing, different ways of viewing things. And you kind of just have to let it flow and kind of embrace the chaos that comes with it, right?
Yeah, totally.
And
I
when
can't get horizon straight either. Like Lanny has to straighten all my horizon shots.
I'm the straight horizon girl and I have to straighten his. It's okay. It's all right. It's how we work, right?
That was her biggest issue as we were going through portfolios and stuff.
Oh yeah. Well, it's so easy to fix. Like
in camera, just shoot straight.
Well, I can't shoot straight unless I have the grid lines up. Like literally,
tells
I
you, like, if
cannot
you're going
shoot
the right
straight.
way.
And if I have the grid lines up, I'll line the horizon up with the grid line. And then it feels like I'm really crooked in the other direction, but I trust the grid lines, but I don't want the grid lines up all day. So whatever.
It is what it
how
is.
Renee and Curtis are just sitting here doing goatee scratching.
Mostly just like trying to like keep all the commentary out from flying out of my mouth at full volume. I'm just like, just turn the mic off, shut the fuck up.
I'm actually mouthing, I'm whispering, mute, mute, mute.
Mute. I want to hear your commentary.
And now she's
oh
on
no. Well, when we first met, however many 5 years ago now that was.
I don't know what story this is gonna be.
He was always making fun of me because all of my horizons like weren't straight, and I looked at him and I was like, well, I'm not straight either, so why would my horizons be? And that just kind of stuck.
I love that.
But yeah, no, embracing the chaos for sure. Like we second shoot each other's jobs, like on commercial jobs. So like if he gets a commercial gig, I'll come in and assist and like shoot VTS or like shoot second camera if there is such a thing like needed for it, and then like vice versa. And how many times
I just do it because I'm afraid to be alone.
But like how many times I get home at the end of the day and you'll see the person who's shooting second camera and you're just like, fuck, how did you get that shot? Like, it's so good. Because like second camera, like you don't have to care as much.
Yeah.
It's like a little bit less pressure and there's like freedom in that. Like main person, you have to deliver whatever like the art brief was from like the art director, whatever, you have to lock that in. And if you don't, you failed. And the second camera is just like, like fucking Tinkerbell and like glitter, just like running around.
For years, I wish I could second shoot my own weddings. I really do.
Guess what? Guess what? You can.
You have to structure
hire
it
a
that way.
primary shooter for your wedding, and then you can second shoot it.
Get your second shooter to
Honestly,
be the primary.
because you can hire someone to photograph the processional and the first kiss and get it in focus. Who cares if the horizon's crooked? You can straighten it afterwards, right? And
Literally the only times I ever shot weddings, which was like 3 times in my life, because A, I'm bad, B, I hate love, and C, I'm bad. So like Two Mann Studios, you guys are the bomb. But like I would hire as like my second shooter wedding photographers that were like way better than me. Like all 3 weddings that I shot, I was just like, who can I call who's really good and bored? And like I was like, I'll edit everything. I don't care. And I was like, you're down there, get the important stuff. I was like, I'm gonna be back here being like an absolute wedding failure, but at least the clients are gonna get something like hopefully that they'll enjoy. You can totally second shoot stuff that people hire you for.
I feel like this should be called the dirty secrets of shooting instead of the shooting range challenge.
No.
Yeah, totally.
Well, this will just be a segment, outside of the shooting range where we talk dirty secrets about photography.
Anyways, that's our sort of take on teamwork, is that there's no formula. The sky's the limit. Every team's going to be different, right? Because every team has different personalities, different visions, different experience, different backgrounds. So I wouldn't say there's really anything very specific we're looking for in that, other than the fact that I just don't want to see one person's vision, right? I'd like to see I'd like it to be obvious that it's a range of people's visions as opposed to just one's.
Well, we can honestly tell you that collaboration has been happening.
Nice.
You incorporate a lot of creativity and playfulness into your shots and openly share this with your students. Can you elaborate on how your decision to share your secrets has advanced your own skills as photographers?
Well, we've never thought of them as secrets. So like from the start. So that's part of it. And honestly, our photography has grown leaps and bounds through teaching.
Yeah.
Like education has forced us to actually think about what is it we're doing that's working, and distill down to basically shine a spotlight on our process and our blind spots and figure out, okay, what's working, what's not working, because learning how to communicate what you do to others helps you figure out what it is that you're doing
And why.
and why it's work. Yeah, and why it's working.
Yeah. And I would add to that they aren't really secrets, because photography is only 10% knowing how to use your camera. Knowing how to use your camera, knowing how to use your flashes, knowing all the technical stuff, that's the easy part. The hard part of photography and the part that's the lifelong journey is learning the unique way that you see and experience the world and transferring that into a 2x3 rectangle. And so that is going to be different for every single one of you. And that's going to be different for every single one of our students. And so that is really what we're trying to teach, is to not to unlock creativity out of nothing, which is what a lot of people think photography is. Like they think, oh, they're so creative, they put the flash here and they thought of this concept. That's not what it is for us. For us, it's about seeing. It's about seeing what interests us and seeing what piques our interest and curiosity, really. And that's my definition of creativity when it comes to photography, is noticing what you notice.
Yeah, because technically there are no secrets. Like literally everything is out there on Google, on YouTube. On the Google. Search it up, like on the Google.
Exactly.
Everything, every technique, every this, that, right? In terms of how to use your flashes, how to use your cameras, right? Light composition. But the thing that differentiates us and helps us stand out is the inherently different way that we all see and experience the world. Right.
Which
so even though we still, it's easy to say, but even though we can, it's right at our fingertips, like how to dial my camera settings in just the way that photographer did to make the light look just the way they did. Right. But at the core of it is really the different ways that we see and experience. And so that's part of the reason we've never shied away from just putting it all out there. Like, this is what we do. This is why we do it, because at the heart of it, we're all so different, and the work that we make is going to be different.
I mean, there's a lot of copycats out there, don't get us wrong, but I don't care, like literally, because every wedding we shoot, we see different things and different people and different personalities and different idiosyncrasies and different ways that people express emotions. And that's our content, right? That's our muse. That's what we're drawn to. And nobody can replicate that, because that's unique to every person we photograph.
Every story is unique. So, yeah.
Thank you. I love that answer completely. And you can tell that you two are educators for sure.
I don't know if that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Totally is a good thing. Again, you're in the right spot.
Yeah.
So I got one more question for you. There was once a time when when the only option was creating black and white images. Can you explain how using color to amplify the emotional impact of images might sometimes be more challenging?
Yeah.
It's interesting that there was a time when, yeah, of course, right? Black and white came before the color, but in reality, color came before the black and white. It's like black and white photography. It's interesting how black and white photography is viewed as this sort of vintage thing where, we can desaturate the photo entirely. We can take all the color information away, and that's totally cool, right? But any other post-production thing we do is viewed under a microscope of ethics and opinions and whatnot, because really that's one of the most drastic things you can do to an image is erase all the color information. And the effect is powerful, right? Because it boils it right down to light and shadow, shape and form, right? So there's no color to distract from that. So when you're dealing with a color photo where you don't have the luxury of erasing all that color information, now you've got a whole other element, a whole nother layer of information that's got to work. It's not just the story, the light, the shadow, the shape and form. Now you've got color, which is a whole other layer that can drastically distract from the
Or
story
add to.
or support it.
Mhm.
And so for that reason, it can be much more challenging.
Mhm.
And it's all in how each person will interpret that situation to make.
As always, yeah, and not just in the shooting and the lighting, but in the post-production too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Totally. Basically, like our thought process when it comes to black and white or color is the color adding anything to the integrity of this story? Is the color adding anything that's enhancing the story? And if it's not, then we turn it to black and white. Right? Because it can really take away from it. But like Lanny said, it can really add to it as well.
Yeah.
When it works, it works. When it doesn't, it doesn't.
That is absolutely true.
Yeah. And really, like, when we think about, you know, when we want a viewer to look at our image, or a photo, I should say, I don't like using the word image, but if we want a viewer to look at our photo, we want their eyes to be sort of taken on a journey, right, through the photo to the different elements, correct? And so we can do that through our composition, obviously, and our focus point, lighting, right? Where's the brightest spot? Like, people's eyes are always drawn to the brightest spot, and also the spot that's most in focus. And so if there's bright spots in the image that aren't storytelling elements and they're just distractions, that obviously takes away from the story. But same with color, right? Does that color draw the viewer's eye on that, either that journey or that one point that you want the viewer's eye to go to quickly?
And it's not science, like all of photography. It is art. I mean, whether or not the color works or doesn't work for the human eye is entirely up to interpretation and subjective. And we can't put our finger on like any rules as to why it works or it doesn't work.
Sometimes we can.
Well,
sometimes
of course,
we can, but yeah,
but it's still subjective.
Yeah.
So it's art.
Awesome. Thank you, YouTube.
Yeah. Really confused everybody now, and they're all second guessing everything.
Probably, but that's okay. That's part of the challenge.
That's part of why this is a challenging competition.
And are people allowed to ask questions about to the judges or not?
You mean during the live Zooms?
Yeah.
Next week, yes. This week, no.
Yeah.
You're on a need to know basis.
Pretty much. So we're going to wrap it up a little bit. We want to thank everyone again for being here. We look forward to seeing what the shooters are working on. And as much as their nerves may be shot, we are sure the challengers are looking forward to hearing what our panel and guest judges have to say on their Spectrum Challenge. So we will see you next week. Just to let our judges and guest judges know that even though challengers will be eliminated every week, they are still welcome to come back and enjoy the Zooms. They are also encouraged to continue and work on the challenges. They just won't get them at the same time as the ones that are still in the competition. So you may still see faces of eliminated challengers along the way, but we want to encourage them to keep coming back and learning from everybody.
Thank you, everyone, for joining us this week on the shooting range. We look forward to seeing you next week for the official first challenge, and we will see you on the 12th of January for week 1 Spectrum with Lanny and Erica of Two Mann Studios.
Can't wait to see you guys. Like, I'm actually really quite excited to see what you guys come up with.
See? Yay, guys.
Yay.
Good luck, everyone.
Yeah, good luck. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody.